Hello, students. In this lesson ca- called CrossChecking, you will learn how to cross-check as you read to see if the words that you are reading make sense, have the same beginning sounds, have the same ending sounds, have the same middle sounds, and were read correctly. You will also learn to make sure that you read it again to make sure that it makes sense. Listen and follow along as your teacher reads. You are my best friend. I leave you very much. Wait a minute. Leave? This was the word leave that I just said for this word right here. Hmm. Leave, and then that word right there. Well, let's take a look at those. Let's take a look at those. They have the same beginning sounds. Oh, they have the same ending sounds. V. They even have the same silent E. But they have a totally different meaning. That's leave. This is something else. And that has a different middle sound. And so instead of leave, this word is love. And I'm seeing all the hearts. And I know they're talking about a best friend. So I'm thinking about the meaning. And I'm going to read it again to see if that word makes sense. You are my best friend. I love you very much. Love has the right middle sound, the right beginning and ending sound, and it makes sense. So this is what we're talking about when we talk about cross-checking. Cross-checking is making sure that you are reading the words correctly. You're thinking about if are the beginning sounds the same? Are the ending sounds the same? Are the middle sounds the same? Does the word make sense in the sentence? Does the word make sense in the reading selection or story? All of those questions are questions that good readers think about when they are reading a story or a selection. They are always cross-checking to make sure that the words they are reading are correct. Let's take a look at the Three Little Pigs. We're going to be reading the Three Little Pigs to help us reach our goals. As you listen to the teacher read, you will hear her make mistakes with some of the words. You will learn how to cross-check the mistakes to see if the word makes sense, has the same beginning sounds, has the same ending sounds, has the same middle sounds, was read correctly, and then you're going to read it again to make sure that it makes sense. So listen again, listen and follow along as I read this story. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs who lived toothed with their mother in the home where they were born. From dark to dawn, the brothers played together until the day came when their mother told them, "Little pigs, you are not so little anymore. It is time for you to go out into the world and seek your fame." Hmm. If you were following along as I was reading, you might have noticed some words that didn't quite sound the same as they looked. Let's take a closer look at those. So right here, we'll start with the first section, the first sentence. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs who lived toothed with their mother in the home where they were born. Tooth is right here. And there's that word right there. There's that word, and there's that word tooth that I used. Well, they have the same beginning sound. They both start with the t. They even have the same th sound in them. They're right there and at the end right there. They do have other different letters, though. They don't look the same, that's for sure. And tooth doesn't make sense right there. Who lived tooth with their mother? That doesn't make sense. It's got to be a different word. And if we think about it again and look at the word and we break it down together, let's read and see if together makes sense because tooth sure doesn't. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs who lived together with their mother in the home where they were born. And by checking to make sure that it makes sense, that's what we need to do. All right, listen and follow along as I read. From dark to dawn, the brothers played together until the day came when their mother told them, "Little pigs, you are not so little anymore." And we've got this word here, dark, dark, and told, except as I'm saying those words again, they sound a little bit different than they look. And here's that word that I said dark for. And they do have the same beginning sounds. They have the d, they have the same ending, the k sound at the end. It makes sense from dark to dawn, but they do have a different middle sound. This has the R in the middle, and this has us, us. So that word is dusk, dusk, which means it is dark, pretty dark during dusk, but it's a different word. We want to make sure we're reading the correct word. Until the day came when their mother told them, and when I look at that right here, that's actually two words, and there's the word told. And it does make sense when their mother told them, but it does have a different beginning, middle, and end sound. So those words don't look anything alike. So we want to make sure we're reading it correctly. These words are said to. So let's read it correctly. From dusk to dawn, the brothers played together until the day came when their mother said to them, "Little pigs, you are not so little anymore." Let's see if we can try one more. It is time for you to go out into the world and seek your fame. And there's the word fame that I substituted for this word here. And there are those two words. They have the same beginning sound, the f sound, and they do make sense to seek their fame, but they have a different ending sound, different ending letters, and a different middle. That word is not fame. That word is actually fortune. Fortune or fortune. Fortune is another way we say it. It is time, we'll reread it to make sure it makes sense. It is time for you to go out into the world and seek your fortunes. Fortunes. So we need to make sure that we're checking those words. We're cross-checking as we're reading. When you read, remember to cross-check. Remember how to cross-check as you read to see if the words make sense, have the same beginning sounds, have the same ending sounds, have the same middle sounds, and those that they were read correctly. And then once you're sure that word is right, read it again to make sure that it makes sense. Good luck with your cross-checking.